Captain Jai-Ho Park stood at the main window of the starship Singularity, his eyes fixed on Earth below. The blue planet looked peaceful from space, but today it was different. Today the sky was filled with 1,000 enemy ships. "Captain, they're broadcasting again," said Yum Ho Choi from his communication station. The young officer's voice was steady, but his hand shook slightly as they moved across the control panel. "Put it through," Jai-Ho ordered. He turned to face the main screen, straightening his dark blue uniform. The screen flickered to life, showing a tall, silver-skinned being with 4 eyes. Supreme Commander Axon of the Nexus Coalition looked down at Jai-Ho with cold superiority. "Humans." Axon's voice boomed through the speakers. "Your time of playing with technologies you don't understand is over. You have grown too quickly, developed too fast. The Coalition has decided you are a threat to galactic peace." Jai-Ho kept his face calm, though anger burned inside him. "We have done nothing to threaten your people," he said. "Your very existence is a threat," Axon replied. 48 hours, humans. Surrender your world and accept Coalition rule, or we will destroy everything you have built. 1,000 of our most powerful ships against your primitive fleet. Choose wisely." The screen went dark. Jai-Ho turned to his crew. 20 people sat at their stations on the bridge, all wearing the same dark blue uniforms with the Earth Defense Force symbol. They were the best Earth had to offer, chosen for humanity's most advanced ship. "Status report," he ordered. Sun Mi Lee, his chief engineer, spoke up first. "The dimensional drive is working perfectly, Captain. Dr. Kim's modifications are holding steady." She looked proud. The Singularity was her home as much as it was Jai-Ho's. "Weapons and shields at full power," reported Taiwan Kang from Tactical. "But Captain, even with our new technology, we're just one ship. They have 1,000. Jai-Ho nodded slowly. The Singularity was special, Earth's first ship with the new dimensional drive system. They had built it for exploration, not war. But now it might be their only hope. His tablet beeped with an incoming message. The United Earth Council wanted to speak with him. Before he could respond, the bridge door opened, and Dr. Hae-Nul Kim walked in. The physicist looked tired, her lab coat wrinkled from long hours working on the dimensional drive. "Captain," she said, "I need to show you something." She held up her tablet, displaying complex energy readings. The Coalition ships, they're not just similar, they're connected somehow. It's in their energy patterns. Jai-Ho looked at the data, then back at his crew. They were young, skilled, and brave. Earth had put its best minds on this ship. Maybe that would be enough. "Yum-Ho, tell the Council I'll call them back," he said. "Sunma, I want everything you can give me from the engines. Taiwan, start mapping their fleet formation. Dr. Kim, tell me more about those energy patterns." Outside the window, Earth continued its peaceful spin, unaware of the choice humanity faced. But on the bridge of the Singularity, Captain Jai-Ho Park and his crew were already preparing for battle. They might be just one ship, but sometimes one was all you needed. The Coalition had sent 1,000 ships to destroy humanity. They were about to learn that quantity wasn't everything. Sometimes quality made all the difference, and the Singularity was the highest quality ship humanity had ever built. Jai-Ho touched the Earth Defense Force symbol on his uniform. "Let's show them what one human ship can do," he said quietly. His crew nodded, determination replacing fear in their eyes. The real fight was about to begin. Dr. Hae-Nul Kim's laboratory deep within the Singularity was unlike anything else on the ship. Strange devices lined the walls, and holographic displays showed complex equations floating in the air. She stood in the middle of it all, trying to explain her life's work to Captain Jai-Ho Park. "The dimensional drive isn't just an engine," she said, pointing to a glowing blue cylinder in the center of the lab. "It's a way to bend reality itself." She picked up a piece of paper from her desk. "Imagine space is like this paper. Normal ships can only travel across it. She moved her finger across the paper's surface. But we can fold it. She folded the paper, bringing two distant points together. Jai-Ho watched carefully. In the 6 hours since the Coalition's ultimatum, he had been searching for any advantage they could use. "And this is why they're afraid of us?" he asked. "Yes," Haynul replied. "We developed in 10 years what took them centuries. But there's more." She walked to a large screen showing the 1,000 enemy ships. Their fleet is connected through quantum technology. Each ship is linked to every other ship. It makes them stronger, but she smiled slightly. It might also be their weakness. The captain's tablet beeped again. The council was still trying to reach him. He ignored it. "Show me everything," he said. Haynul pressed some buttons on her control panel. The lab's lights dimmed, and a large hologram appeared, showing the history of the Singularity Project. 5 years ago, we discovered strange particles that existed in multiple dimensions at once, she explained. Everyone said it was impossible to control them. They were wrong. The hologram showed earlier failed experiments, ships that had disappeared or been destroyed. We learned. We adapted. We succeeded. The door opened, and Sun Mai Li walked in. The chief engineer looked worried. "Captain, the council is threatening to remove you from command if you don't respond," she said. "And the coalition fleet is moving closer." Jai-Ho nodded, but kept watching the hologram. "How many people know the full capabilities of this technology?" he asked. "Only the people in this room," Haynul answered. "The council knows we built a new type of engine, but they don't know what it can really do. They wouldn't have believed us." Sun Li moved closer to the dimensional drive, studying its blue glow. "I helped build it," she said, "but even I don't fully understand it. The power readings don't make sense. It's like it makes its own energy from nothing." "Not from nothing," Haynul corrected. "From other dimensions. Every time we use it, we're borrowing power from parallel realities. That's why the Coalition is so afraid. Their quantum network is advanced, but it only works in one dimension. We can operate in many." Jai-Ho's mind was racing with possibilities. "Can we use this against their network?" he asked. Haynul hesitated. "Maybe. But it would be dangerous. One mistake, and we could tear a hole in space itself." The ship's alert system suddenly activated. Red lights flashed as Ta-Wan's voice came through the speakers. "Captain, to the bridge. The Coalition fleet is launching fighters." Jai-Ho turned to leave, then stopped. "Dr. Kim, I need you on the bridge too. Whatever happens next, your knowledge might make the difference between survival and extinction." Haynul looked at her lab, at the years of work surrounding her. She had created this technology to explore the universe, to learn its secrets. Now it would be used for war. But if they failed, humanity would lose everything. "I'll be there," she said. "But Captain." She picked up a small device from her desk. "Take this. If everything goes wrong, if we have no other choice, this will activate the drive's full power. Just understand that we might not survive using it." Jai-Ho took the device and put it in his pocket. As they hurried to the bridge, the Singularity's alarms continued to sound. The Coalition was making its first move. Now they would see if one human ship, powered by impossible technology, could stand against 1,000. The bridge of the Singularity was silent as the large screen showed hundreds of Coalition fighters approaching. Captain Jai-Ho Park stood at the center, watching the growing swarm of enemy ships. "Main Council is calling again," Captain Yum-Ho reported from his station. "They're ordering all ships to return to Earth for a last defense." Jai-Ho looked at his crew. Their faces showed fear, but also trust in his leadership. He pressed the communication button. "Put them through." The screen changed to show 5 stern faces. The United Earth Council. Council leader Mun-Hee Choi spoke first. "Captain Park, you are ordered to bring the Singularity back to Earth immediately. All ships must protect the planet." "With respect, Council leader," Jai-Ho replied. "That would be a mistake. The Singularity has capabilities you don't fully understand." We understand that it's just one ship, another council member said. And they have 1,000. The math is simple. Dr. Hae-Nul Kim stepped forward. Council members, the math is not simple. The dimensional drive. We've heard enough about your experimental drive. The council leader interrupted. This is not a debate. Return to Earth. That's an order. Jai-Ho looked at his crew again. Tai-1 at tactical, monitoring the approaching fighters. Sun-Mai at engineering, her hands ready at the dimensional drive controls. Young-Ho at communications, waiting for his command. And Hae-Nul, standing beside him, believing in the technology she had created. He made his decision. I apologize, Council, he said firmly. But we're going to fight. This is mutiny, a council member shouted. No, Jai-Ho replied calmly. This is survival. He nodded to Young-Ho, who cut the transmission. The bridge erupted in conversation. Captain, Sun-Mai called out. The dimensional drive is ready, but we've never used it in combat before. The fighters are launching missiles, Tai-1 reported. Impact in 30 seconds. Hae-Nul moved to the engineering station. If we're going to do this, I need full control of the drive. One wrong calculation could tear the ship apart. Jai-Ho pressed the ship-wide communication button. All crew, this is the captain speaking. The council has ordered us to retreat. I have chosen to disobey that order. Anyone who wishes to leave may take an escape pod now. No one will judge you. He paused, waiting. The missiles grew closer on the screen. 20 seconds to impact. No one moved. 15 seconds to impact, Tai-1 announced. Jai-Ho straightened his uniform. Dr. Kim, take control of the drive. Sun-Mai, give her whatever she needs. Tai-1, target the center of their formation. Young-Ho, record everything. The council needs to see what this ship can really do. 10 seconds, Tai-1 called out. Hae-Nul's fingers flew across her control panel. The dimensional drive hummed louder, its sound filling the ship. Ready on your order, Captain, she said. 5 seconds. Jai-Ho gripped his chair. His crew of 120 specialists had chosen to stay, to fight against impossible odds. They believed in their ship, in their technology, in each other. Now it was time to prove that belief was not misplaced. All hands, he commanded, prepare for dimensional shift. Dr. Kim, show them what one human ship can do. Hae-Nul pressed the final button. As the coalition missiles reached their target, the singularity slipped between dimensions, beginning a battle that would change the galaxy forever. The coalition missiles passed through empty space where the singularity had been moments before. On the bridge, the crew watched in amazement as their ship reappeared behind the enemy fighters. Dimensional shift successful, Hae-Nul announced, her hand steady on the controls. All systems functioning normally. Supreme Commander Axon's voice boomed through their communications. Impossible. No human ship could move that fast. Target their command fighters, Jai-Ho ordered, ignoring the alien commander's surprise. Show them what else we can do. Tai-1's fingers moved quickly across his tactical station. The Singularity's weapons came to life, firing precise shots that disabled 3 enemy fighters without destroying them. The remaining coalition ships scattered in confusion. They're calling for backup, Young-Ho reported from communications. The main fleet is responding. 500 ships are changing course toward us. Jai-Ho smiled slightly. Perfect. They're doing exactly what we want. He turned to Hae-Nul. Doctor, are you recording their energy patterns? Yes, she replied, studying the data flowing across her screen. Every time they communicate, their quantum network becomes visible to our sensors. Sun-Mai, can you boost power to the scanners? The chief engineer nodded, making quick adjustments. Done. But Captain, the dimensional drive needs 10 seconds to recharge between jumps. Incoming fire from all directions. Tai-1 shouted. Shift us 40 degrees up, then jump, Jai-Ho commanded. The singularity moved smoothly, avoiding the massive barrage of coalition weapons. Energy beams and missiles crossed through the space where they had been. Newell activated the dimensional drive again, and the ship vanished just as more coalition weapons reached their position. They reappeared inside the enemy formation. Hundreds of coalition ships surrounded them, their silver hulls gleaming in the starlight. On the main screen, Supreme Commander Axon looked furious. "You delay the inevitable," the alien leader said. "Our ships will find a way to track your movements. You cannot escape forever." "We're not trying to escape," Jai-Ho replied calmly. "We're learning." Newell spoke up from her station. "Captain, I'm seeing patterns in their network. Every time we jump, their ships take exactly 2.3 seconds to respond. It's like their quantum connection has a built-in delay." "Can we use that?" Jai-Ho asked. "Maybe. But we need more data. And we need to get closer to their command ship." Taiwan interrupted urgently. "Multiple weapons locked on us. They're using some kind of new targeting system." "Jump to Sector 7, Jai-Ho ordered. The ship shifted again, but this time several coalition energy beams followed them through the dimensional shift. The singularity shook as the beams grazed their shields. "Shields at 80%, Sun Mai reported. "They're learning too, Captain." Jai-Ho walked to Newell's station, looking at the data she had collected. The quantum patterns were becoming clearer with each jump. The Coalition's greatest strength, their connected ships, might become their weakness, but first they had to survive long enough to prove it. "All hands," he announced, "prepare for close-range combat. Dr. Kim, plot us a course through their formation. Taiwan, target their communication arrays only. It's time to show them why quality beats quantity." The Singularity turned to face the approaching coalition fleet, 500 ships against one. But as the dimensional drive hummed back to full power, everyone on the bridge knew that numbers alone wouldn't decide this battle. The real fight was just beginning. Yun-Ho's eyes widened as he studied the communication patterns flowing across his screen. After 3 hours of battle, the Singularity had collected massive amounts of data from the Coalition fleet's transmissions. Something in the patterns caught his attention. "Dr. Kim," he called out, "I think you need to see this." Newell moved quickly to the communication station, still steady on her feet despite the ship's frequent dimensional jumps. She looked at Yun-Ho's screen, and her expression changed from curiosity to excitement. "Captain," she said, "we've found something important." The Singularity shook as another wave of coalition weapons hit their shields. Jai-Ho held onto his chair, watching the enemy ships regrouping for another attack. "Tell me quickly," he ordered. "Their quantum network isn't just for communication," Newell explained. "It's their whole control system. Each ship is connected to every other ship, sharing power, sharing targeting data, sharing everything." She pointed to the complex patterns on the screen. "Look at these energy signatures. They're identical across all ships. Like 1,000 copies of the same ship," Yun-Ho added. Sun Mai spoke up from her engineering station. "That's why they're so powerful together. But it's also dangerous. If one part of the network fails, they all fail," Jai-Ho finished. He understood now why the Coalition was so organized, so effective. But he also saw their weakness. The ship jumped again, avoiding a massive energy blast from Supreme Commander Axon's flagship. When they reappeared, Taiwan reported from Tactical, "Shields at 40%, Captain. We can't keep dodging forever." Jai-Ho turned to Newell. "Can we use this information? Can we disrupt their network?" The physicist thought for a moment, her mind racing through possibilities. "The dimensional drive doesn't just move us through space," she said slowly. "It creates ripples in reality. If we could position ourselves at exactly the right point in their formation, we could send those ripples through their entire network." Sun Mai finished, understanding the idea. A new transmission came through. Supreme Commander Axon's image appeared on the main screen, looking confident despite hours of failing to destroy the Singularity. "Your ship is impressive, humans, the alien commander said. "But your power is dropping. Our sensors show your shields weakening. Surrender now, and we will spare your crew." Jai-Ho looked at his team. Young-Ho at communications, still analyzing enemy patterns. Tai-1 at tactical, fingers ready on the weapons controls. Sun-Mai at engineering, managing their failing shields. And Hae-Nul, already calculating the perfect position for their counterattack. "You're right about one thing," Jai-Ho replied to Axon. "This ship is impressive, but you don't know the half of it yet." He ended the transmission. "Dr. Kim," he said, "find us that perfect position. Sun-Mai, give the dimensional drive everything you can. Young-Ho, keep tracking their network. Tai-1." He smiled slightly. "Get ready to show them why they should have sent more ships." The Singularity began moving through space, jumping between dimensions, searching for the exact point where one human ship could defeat 1,000. The Coalition fleet followed, not realizing they were falling into a trap of their own creation. The Singularity moved carefully through space, positioning itself at the heart of the Coalition fleet. Hae-Nul watched her calculations with intense focus, knowing that even a small error could doom their mission. The enemy ships surrounded them in a perfect sphere, exactly as they had planned. "Position confirmed," she announced. "We're at the focal point of their quantum network." Jai-Ho nodded, his expression serious. "How long do we need to stay in this position?" 3 minutes to generate enough dimensional energy," Hae-Nul replied. "But their weapons will hit us in less than 1 minute." Sun-Mai spoke from her engineering station, her voice tense. "Shields at 25%. We can't take much more damage." On the main screen, Supreme Commander Axon's massive flagship turned to face them. The Coalition leader's voice filled the bridge. "Your clever movements end here, humans. You have nowhere left to run." "We're not running anymore," Jai-Ho replied calmly. He turned to his crew. "Everyone, prepare for dimensional cascade. Dr. Kim, begin the sequence." Hae-Nul's hands moved across her control panel, activating special modifications she had made to the dimensional drive. The ship's normal humming changed to a deep vibration that everyone could feel through the floor. "Enemy ships charging weapons," Tai-1 reported. "All of them. They're going to hit us with everything at once." Young-Ho looked up from his communications station. "Captain, I'm picking up unusual signals. Their quantum network is reacting to our dimensional field." "That's what we want," Hae-Nul said, not looking up from her work. "The cascade is starting. Their network will carry our dimensional ripples to every ship in their fleet." The Coalition ships fired. 1,000 energy beams converged on the Singularity's position. The shields lit up under the assault. Shields failing. Sun-Mai shouted over the sound of straining engines. 30 seconds more," Hae-Nul said. "The cascade is building." Jai-Ho stood at the center of the bridge, watching their plan unfold. "Reroute all power to shields. We need those 30 seconds." The ship shook violently. Warning alarms sounded throughout the bridge as systems began to fail. But in the middle of the chaos, Hae-Nul smiled. "The ripples are spreading through their network," she said. "Their quantum connection is carrying our dimensional energy to every ship, just like a virus spreading through a computer system." On the main screen, they could see Coalition ships beginning to flicker strangely. The perfect formation started to break apart as ships lost their network connection. 15 seconds, Hae-Nul announced. Supreme Commander Axon's face appeared on the screen again, showing fear for the first time. "What are you doing? Stop this immediately." 10 seconds, Hae-Nul continued. "Shields at 5%. Sun-Mai reported." 5 seconds. The bridge crew held on as the ship shuddered under the continued assault. Jai-Ho watched the enemy fleet, seeing more and more ships losing power and coordination. "Now," Hae-Nul pressed the final sequence of commands. The dimensional drive pulsed once, sending a massive wave of energy through space. The wave traveled instantly through the Coalition's quantum network, reaching every ship simultaneously. One by one, The mighty warships went dark, their connected systems overwhelmed by the dimensional cascade. In the sudden silence that followed, Jai-Ho looked at his crew. They had gambled everything on this plan, and now they would see if they had won or lost. The space around the singularity filled with drifting coalition ships. Their once perfect formation had broken completely. The mighty fleet that had threatened Earth now floated helplessly, their connected systems frozen by the dimensional cascade. "Status report," Jai-Ho ordered, his voice quiet in the still bridge. Sun Mei checked her engineering displays. "Our shields are gone, but the dimensional drive is still working. Main power at 30%. The coalition fleet." Ta-1 paused, looking at his tactical screen. 987 ships detected, all showing minimal power readings. Their weapons are offline. Young-Ho spoke next from communications. "Sir, I'm getting emergency signals from their crews. Life support systems are running on backup power." Hamnul stood from her station, looking tired but satisfied. "The cascade worked better than we expected. Their quantum network didn't just crash. It's completely frozen. They can't restart it without breaking the connections between ships." The main screen lit up, showing Supreme Commander Axon. The alien leader's silver skin had lost its shine, and only 2 of his 4 eyes were glowing. Emergency lights flashed behind him. "What have you done?" Axon demanded, but his voice had lost its commanding tone. 1,000 ships, the pride of the coalition fleet, defeated by 1 human vessel. Jai-Ho stepped forward. "Not defeated. Disabled. We could destroy your ships now, but that's not our way." He looked at his crew, seeing them nod in agreement. "We're going to help you instead." "Help us?" Axon sounded confused. "After we threatened your world?" "Yes," Jai-Ho replied. "Dr. Kim can show your engineers how to safely disconnect each ship from the network. You'll lose your quantum connection, but your ships will work again." Hanul moved to stand beside her captain. "The process will take several hours, but we can start with your life support systems." The bridge crew watched as Axon struggled with this offer. The mighty coalition commander had come to destroy humanity, believing them too dangerous to exist. Now these same humans were offering to save his fleet. "Why?" he finally asked. "Because that's what makes us different," Jai-Ho explained. "You saw our technology as a threat because that's how you would use it. We created the dimensional drive to explore, to learn, to connect with others. Today we used it to defend ourselves, but that's not its purpose." Young-Ho's console beeped. "Captain, we're getting signals from Earth. The Council wants to know what's happening." "Tell them the threat is over," Jai-Ho said, "and ask them to send medical ships. The coalition crews will need help during the restoration process." As Young-Ho sent the message, Hae-Nul began preparing instructions for the coalition engineers. Sun Mei worked to route emergency power to the closest enemy ships, while Tai-1 kept watch for any remaining threats. The singularity had done what seemed impossible. 1 ship had defeated 1,000. But the real victory wasn't in the battle. It was in what came after. As human and coalition crews began working together to restore the damaged ships, both sides learned something important about each other and about themselves. 1 week after the battle, the Singularity floated beside Supreme Commander Axon's flagship. The coalition fleet had recovered, their ships now operating independently without the quantum network. On the Singularity's bridge, Captain Jai-Ho Park prepared for his final meeting with the coalition leader. "The last coalition ship has been restored to full power," Sun Mai reported from engineering. "All systems are functioning normally." Hanul stood at her station, looking at the data from the past week. Their engineers learned quickly. They've already started developing new systems based on our dimensional technology. "Are you worried about sharing our secrets with them?" Jai-Ho asked her. She shook her head. "No. They understand now. Technology is just a tool. It's how you use it that matters." The main screen activated, showing Supreme Commander Axon. The coalition leader looked different now. His silver skin had regained its shine, But his expression had changed. The arrogance was gone, replaced by something like respect. "Captain Park," Axon said formally, "the Coalition Council has reached a decision. We came here believing humanity was a threat to galactic peace. We were wrong." Jai-Ho nodded. "What happens now?" "We would like to propose an alliance," Axon replied. "Your people have shown us a better way. You could have destroyed our fleet, but you chose to help us instead. That wisdom, combined with your technological innovation, would make you valuable partners." Young Ho's console lit up with incoming messages. "Captain, the Earth Council is calling. They want to be part of this discussion." "Put them through," Jai-Ho ordered. The screen split, showing both Axon and the Earth Council. Council leader Munhee looked at Jai-Ho with a mixture of pride and embarrassment. "Captain Park," she said, "we owe you an apology. You disobeyed orders, but your actions saved humanity and gained us new allies. The Council has voted to commend you and your entire crew." Jai-Ho looked around at his team. Taiwan at Tactical, who had fought with precision and care. Sun Mai at Engineering, who had kept their systems running through impossible stress. Young Ho at Communications, who had discovered the key to understanding their enemy. And He Newell, whose brilliant mind had created the technology that changed everything. "The commendation belongs to everyone," he said. "But more importantly, what do we do with this opportunity?" Dr. Kim stepped forward. "The dimensional drive was always meant for exploration. Now we can use it for its real purpose, to learn, to discover, to connect with other civilizations." Supreme Commander Axon nodded in agreement. "The Coalition has mapped many galaxies, but your technology opens new possibilities. Together, we could explore areas of space we never thought possible to reach." The Earth Council members talked among themselves briefly. Then Council leader Munhee spoke. "We propose a joint mission. The Singularity, with both human and Coalition crew members, leading the way into unexplored space." Jai-Ho smiled. "Humanity's first ship with the dimensional drive, becoming humanity's first ship to truly explore the universe." He turned to his crew. "Are you all willing to continue this journey?" They answered with enthusiastic nods. Even He Newell, who had worried about her technology being used for war, looked excited about returning to its original purpose. The Coalition had sent 1,000 ships to stop humanity's progress. Instead, they had discovered why humans had advanced so quickly, not just because of their technology, but because of their ability to turn enemies into friends, to choose wisdom over power, and to see possibilities where others saw only threats. As the Singularity prepared for its new mission, Jai-Ho knew that this was just the beginning. One ship had changed the galaxy. Now it would help explore it, proving that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their weapons or technology, but in their hearts and minds.